Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to dig into Odalin Dungeons of Doom. We are going to be playing through the campaign. We're going to start at the beginning and see how far we get. Hopefully our characters can survive at least the first mission, or I got to go back to dungeon crawling school. In this video we're going to start by setting up our characters. We're going to go through the first mission and then we're going to hopefully go into the second mission if we're able to survive. This is a 1 to 4 player narrative dungeon crawler, so you're going to be having a story that goes along with the action of the dungeon crawl. The book and the game is going to go back and forth throughout the campaign, so I'm excited to try this out, see what this game has to offer, and I'm excited to bring this to you. So if you're excited to see Odalin Dungeons of Doom, then I need you to meet me at the table. I'm going to talk a lot about this character and then I'll show you the other 2 characters we are going to be playing with. We are going to be playing with 3 characters. This one was chosen by my Patreon supporters. It got the most votes in the poll. And if you're interested in affecting how our games come out, please check out the Patreon. The link is in the description of this video. And one of the perks is, of course, when we play our dungeon crawlers, I do have the Patreons help decide who plays in the dungeon crawlers. And also as we go through leveling them up, I have them help me decide how we're going to level our characters up. So there we go. All right, this is Vespera. She is a necromancer. She's going to be able to summon the undead. Now, this is a little tile that comes with the game. You're able to put this right in here, so it is on the player board. On the back, it does have a little blurb about her and what she's all about. I'm not going to read that. If you're interested, I'm sure you can find that online. And it does show her starting items down here. So we do have the robes of the unspoken and the staff of the undead. Down here, we're going to see what kind of equipment this character can use. She's able to use light armor, offhand caster weapons, caster one-handed weapons, and caster two-handed weapons. So this right here, as you can see, is a two-handed caster weapon. So that's why she's able to use this particular one. Down at the bottom, we have our base stats. You're going to insert these little squares here that are going to have, as you level up, able to rotate it and are going to be able to give you different buffs. For example, this one right here is going to be able to have all your attacks do +1 damage. But right now she starts with 0. She also has 0 luck. She has 1 agility, which is going to help with defense that we'll talk about while we play through the game. She has 2 in her mind and 2 in her spirit and 1 in vigor. Vigor is going to give me 5 more starting health. She starts with 25, so that means we're going to have a starting health score of 30, which you're going to track on here. When you are in the actual dungeon, we'll have a different board that will track the health that the character is going to receive and be hurt by. After that, we do have, these two stats right here allow me to manipulate my deck as we go through. So before we head out, I'm able to flip one of these cards, and depending on which stat it is, one is going to flip the bottom stat card and one is going to flip the top card. And you can tell if you have flipped the card by when you flip the card over, it has a more pronounced border. This is a more powerful version of the card. And as you can see, there are 2 parts to these cards. One is going to be the demon that we have decided to bond with for our adventure. You can change those out though as you play through the game, and you can actually adjust these cards as you go through the game. But at the beginning, you have a starting deck of 12, and you're going to be placing the 1 card with the 1 card. But like I said, as you go through, you're going to be leveling up these cards and giving level 2s, level 3s, and so on. And so you might be able to switch out some of these cards with other things. But for the very first adventure, we're just going to stick with the base cards. Over on this side of the board, we have the souls that we're going to track and the corruption we are going to track. We start with 0 and we start with 4 souls according to our character here. When we reach the top, we do have the ability to change into our demon form. If we ever gain souls above what we have as the maximum, we're going to be gaining health instead. If you ever get to the top of the corruption, if you go past it, it's going to go back to 0, and you're going to get what is called tainted actions that you're going to be able to use instead of your normal action tokens. Now, at the time of this recording, there is an update pack coming. There was some materials that were left out during the actual campaign and delivery of the game. So just bear with some of the stuff that I may not have, or of course some of the stuff I'm substituting in. So just know that it is coming, and there is a full update pack already in the making and on its way. These tokens right here are going to be our undead. These are considered player character tokens. I don't know if these are the exact ones for her, but I do think the symbol for the undead looks that's not a symbol for the undead. I don't know what it is. But so we're going to use these for her summon undead ability that she has here. Every person does usually have a passive ability here. She's the only one I think that has an active ability where I'm going to have to use actions in order to activate that particular ability. That is her character right here. I have down here some of the dice we are going to be using. We do have our 12 action cards, and as we go through the game, we're going to be using these action cards. The action cards you can use are either going to be the top or the bottom. You cannot use both parts of a card, and you follow from top to bottom as you go through this, as you use the card. So for example, this one, it would cost me 2 souls to activate this. It would do 1 damage at range 6, and then the target is vulnerable. And then I get to activate Curse Mastery. Every character has a specific thing that is unique to them. Hers is Curse Mastery. That's her like little shtick that she has. Some of the other ones, for example, our Demon Hunter, which is actually over here, she has Stealth. So she'll be able to, you'll see a lot of the term Stealth on some of her cards. That's her little thing that she can do that nobody else can. We do have our starting equipment. Like I said before, we have the Staff of the Undead. This has no innate effect, but it does show you what dice you're going to be rolling when you're making your attacks. So we have black and blue we're going to be rolling, and we're going to be trying to get hits over equal to or more than the enemy's defense in order to do our damage. Also on top of that, you're going to see different symbols on these as well, which are also going to do things for us. For example, if I rolled this, I would actually gain a corruption. Also, whenever I did damage, I would be doing an extra 1 point of damage to the enemy that we're facing. Our final thing is the Robes of the Unspoken. It has a green die down here. Green dice are used for defense. Black, red, and white are used, and black, white, red, and blue are used for combat, and they're going to have different symbols on them. It does state on this card that if I do not have a specific card in my hand at the beginning of combat, I'm able to dig for that card to have it available for me if I wish to use it. There is a lot going on in this game, so I may make a few mistakes as I play through it. If I do, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to put a note in the video for those people that are interested in learning the game and want to learn from these particular videos. So please keep a watch out for any pinned comments in the description of this video, or not description, sorry, the comment section of this video for those rule errors. Moving back to our ability cards here, I do want to say there are different types of abilities. This is an attack. That means you can only do 1 attack per turn, and there's a majority of these are attack cards. There are auras that you're able to set out and have available to you. There are also going to be instant cards that can be played. There are going to be ability cards that can be played, and then there's going to be instant ability cards that you can be playing. And these are all going to be played at different times during the game. Most of them are played on your turn, but there may be some that are going to be played during other people's turns, either the enemy or your ally's turn. Like I said, each turn you're going to get 3 actions. If you decide not to do what's on these cards, you also have the ability to use any of these basic actions down here, where you can move 3, you can do an attack for just 1 damage, you can interact with any objects out on the board, or you can do what's called penance, where you can take 3, or you can subtract 3 health and subtract 2 corruption from you. If you're way too high in corruption, you can take 3 damage to move down your track 2 if you wish to. That is going to be that character there. Let's move over to our next one. We did spend a lot of time on that character, so you're not going to see too much more from this character, other than the fact that this character has, like I said, that stealth mechanic that is built into this character. If this character ever plays a card with stealth, I'm going to be able to move 2. Now that's different from actually moving, and I'll explain as we play through the game how that entails. Normally you're given movement points, but this is not points, this is a straight move 2. So you're able to just move 2 based on this. Stealth enemies will not target you. If it has to target you because there's nobody else to target, you would get an extra green die. And then when you come out of stealth, you're able to do an extra you get an extra success, and you also get to do an extra damage on the next attack that you make. She starts with 3 souls, 30 hit points. She does not have any vigor, so she's not going to gain any extra health. She does also get to manipulate the top and bottom of one of her cards in her deck. She has 1 luck. If you ever beat the defense of the adversary you're fighting by 3 or more, or might be more than 3, you're able to add in that extra damage. She also does have 2 power, which means her damage is going to be actually +1 when she actually makes attacks, which is super cool. She has her abilities down here, her weapons and armor. She does have a demonic knife, hunter's armor, and then a hunter's crossbow, which, very similar to our necromancer, has a ability that is able to make sure you have a particular card in your hand at the start of combat. And then this is her deck of cards. I forgot to mention, for her, I have given her Nurgle. I think that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be her demon. I don't know if these are the best demons for specific characters. I just looked at the names and thought they were kind of cool. She's using Vine as her demon. And another thing I failed to mention is, as you're looking at these cards, you're gonna see a movement value down here. That's how much movement you can have during the particular action you're doing. The movement can be done before or after the action. It cannot be split up. I can't do move 3, attack, and then move 2. That's not how that works. So we have her character all set to go. I've also given them all a 20-sider because we are going to be making stat checks maybe during the dungeon, but more often than not, it's during our story moments. And you're, of course, going to roll it, add in any of your extra bonuses you have for your skills that you have, and see if it has made the success or failure of that, and then you'll go to that particular passage in the book. Our final character is going to be a paladin. I thought bringing a rogue and a necromancer into a dungeon might not be the best plan without at least somebody that can take some hits, so I decided to bring a paladin along. Like I said, we are playing with 3 characters. The paladin does start with 2 souls, 0 corruption. He has 0 for his strength, 0 for luck, and he also has 1 for agility. He has no mind. He has a spirit, and he has 2 in vigor. So he normally starts with 35 health. He's going to go to 45 from how I understand it. This is his starting equipment down here. Just like the other characters, he does have an ability to pull an aura from his card or his deck if he does not draw it at the beginning of combat. He does get to use a white and blue dice, which is different from our other 2 characters. The white dice have a tendency to gain souls. The black dice have a tendency to gain corruption. He does actually have 2 block dice, which is going to be 2 defense dice, 1 for his shield and 1 for his armor. And even though this is armor, you're still going to roll that particular die when you're making attacks, because when you make attacks, you're going to gain all the dice that are on your cards that are built for attacking. And when you have to make a defense roll, you're going to grab all the dice on all of your cards that have to do with defense. So don't be confused by the fact that this actually is on a armor piece. It is still going to be used as an attack die. He does have a passive ability called Holy Aura, and I can pay 2 souls to activate one of the aura. If I do, then that aura becomes active. And whenever I decide to switch one of these auras, which I could by spending 2 more souls, I can also heal 5 in addition to changing the aura. He does have specific equipment he's able to use. I forgot to mention what our rogue can use, but if that comes up, I will talk about it. He gets to use mainly shields and one-handed weapons and heavy armor. That's usually his deal, where of course the rogue is probably going to be more towards light armor, one-handed weapons, and one-handed like range type weapons because it's a rogue. All right, that is our character. Now that's really about it when it comes to setting up our characters. We're going to turn to the manual now, or I shouldn't say the manual, the campaign book, and begin our adventure until it tells us to move into the dungeon. And I will make sure to put timestamps in this video, so if you don't want to know the story and you just want to get straight to the action, you can totally do that. But let's move into the campaign book and see what happens. During our phase here for the campaign, we're going to move between the journey phase and the dungeon phase. So the first is going to be our journey phase, where we're going to get a lot of story that talks about how we get to this dungeon or what the reason is we're going to this particular dungeon. When you do play this game, you are able to adjust the difficulties of this game. You can either do casual, normal, hard, nightmare, or you can even try it on hell. We are going to stay on normal mode for now. If I feel that it's too easy, we can always adjust it on the fly as we go through this. Our ultimate goal for each of the chapters is going to be to locate and defeat the boss villain responsible for whatever dungeon corruption is taking place. Now let's begin our journey. Under a moonless sky, you crest the final dune. Before you lie the half-buried temple. its colossal doors sealed and etched with glowing sigils. Demons and cultists swarm outside, held at bay by shimmering wards they cannot breach. The air is thick with the stench of sulfur, and the distant air wails of captives. Nearby, prisoners are dragged toward a towering pyre. The cultists chant in guttural tones, and each agonized scream of the sacrificed ones causes the ruins on the temple to flicker. You exchange tense glances, the memory of the scroll fresh in your mind. Just days ago, among the ruins of an ancient caravanserai, you had uncovered a hidden alcove beneath a fallen pillar, marked with faded sigils. Inside was an ancient scroll wrapped in time-worn leather, miraculously preserved. Unfurling it revealed cryptic ruins and a map leading to this very temple, a place where demon lords were imprisoned by jinns in a distant past. Seizing this power, or at least preventing it from falling into the hands of the demons, was the last spark of hope. Now guided by the scroll, you realize time is running out. Steeling yourselves, you search among the dunes for the hidden passage marked on the map. Finding it, you slip into the shadows, descending toward the heart of the temple. We're going to be moving on to passage 1. Now there is an option if you're interested to go to fast action mode. This is one where you're going to just kind of get a glimpse of what is going on. It gives you kind of, I guess you could say, the cliff notes of the adventure. And it also is going to do anything it would normally need to do in order to progress you to that dungeon. We're not going to be doing the fast action mode. I do actually want to experience this story, so we're going to continue on to passage 1. Stepping down into the temple, you hear only your careful footsteps and the crackling of your torch. At the stairs' end, a half-open, age-worn wooden door exudes a faint charred odor. Marks of burning cover an intricate set of sigils carved into it. Wow, they really like their sigils around here. Pushing the door creates an ear-piercing creak, shattering the sepulchral silence. The hall beyond is lined with stone columns and statues of jinns. The dim light barely touches the carving on the walls ahead, depicting demons and jinns locked in battle. Your heads turn quickly as your eyes catch a shadow moving between pillars. Your hands reach for your weapons when, echoing through the hall, a scratched and nasally voice, like that of an old and sickly grandmother, speaks to you. "Old Hazel was waiting for you. What took you so long? Worry not. Old Hazel is no threat to those who seek Abaddon's downfall. Lower your weapons, children." Stepping into the torchlight is a short, stocky old woman with disheveled gray hair, clad in sand-streaked rags. Her smile is sweet, her eyes glinting with sharpness. She appears no wizard, but you feel in your spine something unnatural. All right, at this point, we have to make our first choice. Do we sheathe our weapons and approach her, or keep your weapons drawn and demand to know what she is doing in such a place? I have a necromancer, a rogue, and a paladin. First off, probably not the most ideal party to be with. I don't think they'd all have, I don't know how much in common they have. But I think this person, it's an older woman. I think she'll be fine. I'm just going to sheathe my weapons and approach her. Now, of course, this could be bad. I have seen, of course, enough movies in my time to know that sometimes not what everything you see is what it is. But we're still going to sheathe our weapons and approach her. Hazel settles onto the floor with a broader smile as her hand taps the ground for you to join her. Good start. Old Hazel knows of you, the youngsters with the scroll. Old Hazel has a way of breaking the seals on the doors. You want Abaddon's defeat, and so does old Hazel. We are good allies, very good indeed, says Hazel. Each hero gains a soul. All right, I will give everybody a soul off camera, moving our necromancer to 5, our rogue to 4, and our paladin to 3. And at this play time, we will go to number 4. You settle onto the ground. Hazel leans forward, her eyes widening with intensity as she speaks. Old Hazel saw both past and future. The scroll led you to a place of great power. Seizing it means you will be responsible for fighting the hordes of hell. With a trembling hand, Hazel points to her face with a long cracked nail of her index finger. Opening the sealed doors and imparting knowledge are to be Old Hazel's tasks. Oh, and Old Hazel insists on doing the cooking. She wants to cook? That's fine. Okay, she turns her head as a faint light begins to emanate from a few sigils on the wall. Oh, the wards are stirring, Hazel says. Ask what you need and tell Old Hazel when you are ready to enter the sealed chamber. What do you know about the demon invasion? What do you know about the sealed demon lords, the jinns, and what happened to them? Or just go to the sealed chamber. Let's find out about the jinns. I want to know what happened to them. They, in theory, are the good guys. So these are the bad guys. Let's see what happened to the good guys. 4C. One thing I am noticing that I kind of feel a little bad about, well, not bad about, but one thing that is a little frustrating about the book that I'm reading through is it basically just going page to page. So, I mean, if you really wanted to, 4A, 4B, 4C are all physically on the pages right in front of you. I wish it would be more like, okay, go to 16, 24, and 30 or something. So you'd have to flip without knowing that there's things on these pages. But I'm trying my best to not ever look at any of those because most of the stuff I'm reading is actually straight through my camera. What you see here is actually all I can see as well. So I am able to at least keep myself from meandering my eyes towards other things. Hazel extends her hand toward the statue, her quivering, wrinkled finger pointing at each one as she speaks. Oh, goody. Okay, so you're going to now hear how poorly I am at pronouncing names. This is actually one of my disabilities. I am disabled in the ability to read specific words in English. So we'll see how this goes. Ahura, king, Jinn of the sun, from the skies. He oversees the world. Then we have Tristaria, Jinn of water and rain, brings life to the harsh deserts. Akrana, Jinn of the sand, and time is said to be the first to be and the last to remain. Mithra, Jinn of the righteousness and purity, guards the innocent and judges the corrupt. Ardvi, Jinn of healing and health, provides care and nutrients to the young and old alike. All right, I think I did okay on those. I think I only made me a couple mistakes. Those are the most well-known. They guarded the world, guided mortals in their way. Some are righteous, others deceitful, some wise, others rageful. Born of the world's essence, yet it is faith that sustains them. They are weakening long before hell invasion as the Black Cabal poisoned people's minds and faith dwindled under greed and spite. Their temples were the demons' first targets. Many jinns fell, and those who remain are in hiding, seeking a way to turn the tide. Hazel's answer, her voice betraying disappointment. Hazel looks at you, waiting. Which one do we want to do now? Learn about the demon invasion, the demon lords, how they got sealed, or do we just want to go to the sealed chamber? I have a feeling that this is always going to end up going right back to this particular spot. So let's just start at A, go to B, and then we'll go to 5. Before we do, there's Hazel. I hope I'm doing her justice. Hazel nods slowly, her brow furrowing as a deep hidden sadness reflects in her eyes. Though it began 2 years ago, old Hazel thinks it was long planned. Demons incited corruption, leading mortals to secretly form the Black Cabal, opening portals for greater demons, all right under our noses. Only Aziala stands, but not for long. Demons are too powerful for mortals to fight, and the 4 horsemen are hunting the jinns down. This mess, all the fault of mortals' greed and lack of faith. But losing hope is not old Hazel's way. I have seen Abaddon searching for something with desperation. What it is remains unknown, but it must be important. Everyone has a weakness. You just need to find it, she says with confidence. Now, if we had a particular character in our group, something would happen. We do not have Darum. We are playing with Gravel, the Paladin. We are playing with Vespira, the Necromancer, and Kyra, the Demon Hunter. At the end, it did tell me to go back to 4D, so we're going to go to 4B now because I can. Hazel squints, her nose twitching and mouth mouth quivering as if she had just tasted bile. This world's worst enemies were born from the chaos, first summoned by sinful wizards, then grew, fed by collective evil of individuals everywhere. They, like the jinns, cannot be truly killed, at least not while the sins they embody are widespread, delayed or bound, yes, definitely ended. That is why the jinns imprisoned them here. Only Abaddon remains free, the betrayer of its kin who fled the ancient war. While no one knows the details, old Hazel trusts Abaddon planned it to become the sole sire of hell, she answered. At this point, we'll move on to passage 5. Hazel slowly stands up and walks to the stone door at the hall's end. Her fingers trace the sigils carved into the stone, which glow pale blue under her touch. She moves her index finger slowly, and with a final gesture, flames engulf the symbols, leaving them scorched. Don't make old Hazel strain herself. You kids lift the door, she says, turning to look back at you. You open the door upwards, revealing a vast chamber beyond. Towering pillars of blue crystal line the room, each encasing the shadowy form in a bound demon. In the center rests a stone altar adorned with smaller crystals, each glowing ominously. Take the crystals. Just don't touch more than one at a time, says Hazel as she walks around searching for something. Here it is! She pulls a metal box from a dusty shelf and blows the dust away, revealing strange glowing blue symbols. Extending it toward you, she speaks in a serious tone. Place the crystals here. They hold the soul and essence of the demon lords. One can seldom resist the corruption of one. Two would overwhelm you. Now, see which one calls to you and drop your blood on it. This will allow you to bind it to your soul, granting you some of its power. But beware, from now on, you will have to fight its corrupting influence. At this point, we're going to get all the Demon Lord cards. Each hero must choose one Demon Lord to bind to, giving you your hero unique power. I've actually already done that. Like I said, he is going to be bound to Lilith, and the other two are going to be bound to Nurgle, and I'm going to have Kyrie bind to Vin. So I've already done that. It just made things a lot easier to get it all set up. If you later change your mind, wipe the blood, place the crystal back in the box, and drop blood on the one you wish to bind with. Just never try to take two at a time, she says with a stern look. So you can, like I said before during the setup, is you can change out what demon you're bound with, and whenever you get to what is called the campfire part of the game, which is also where you're going to be able to level up and exchange different things inside of your deck. At this point, we're going to be moving on to 6. Touching the crystal is a hellish experience. No kidding. Your soul is flooded with unending power and chilling malice. Your mind teeters on the brink of losing control as Hazel's distant voice echoes. Visions of your life consumed by demonic flames flash before you, clinging to your will for revenge. You begin to conquer the demon within, then searing pain engulfs your body. You fall to the ground. Your back is ablaze with agony. 2 demons enter the room, led by a cultist in purple robes, conjuring a sphere of hellfire. The demons lower their heads, covered in brown fur and adorned with long curved horns, while their red eyes glow with malice as they prepare to charge. Behind them, 2 seemingly identical girls with long red hair and youthful faces, having seen no more than 15 summers, are bound and dragged by ropes. Hazel rushes towards a wall, shouting, "You've broken the wards! You must leave now! Old Hazel can unseal a secret passage." She presses her hand against a wall, revealing a hidden doorway. "Come, quickly! Old Hazel can seal it again!" The 2 demons advance toward you as the cultists launch a fiery spell. Behind him, the 2 teenage girls cry on the ground, panicked by the unfolding violence. Fight the demons and save the girls, or flee with Hazel. Well, I have a feeling I know what the Paladin's going to do. And on the flip side, I think I know what the Necromancer's going to do. Oh boy, but again, as you can see, notice that the fight the demons is 7 and flee with Hazel is 8. So 7 is right here. I mean, you can even see through the screen here, I have to make an agility test. I mean, so it's hard for me to do things like this. I really wish those numbers were on different pages so you weren't just reading straight down the rows here. But you know, of course, we're going to fight the demons, save the girls. That's just what's going to happen, because that's what you have. You dash toward the demon, weaving through the cultist's fiery spells as they streak through the air. Each hero makes an agility 12 test. Those that fail take 4 damage from the cultist's magic. One of the demons charges you with its horns. Choose one to intercept it. The chosen hero must make a Vigor 14 test. Failure, 8 damage from being pierced by the demon's horns. Ouch. Success, 3 damage as the attack is blocked. Wow, that's a no-win situation there. The first thing we have to do is make an agility test. I do have 3 dice, 1 for each person: Paladin, Rogue, and our Necromancer. We'll see how this goes. Roll these up. So they all critically failed, pretty much. That is wow, that is the worst roll I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, my guys are terrible. So I got a 2, 1, 2. No bonuses on the planet are going to save us from this one. Like I said, there is another board that you're going to use to track the hit points of your characters during the adventure, and that's this board right here. I've placed all our characters' hit points out on the board where they're supposed to be, but we're all going to take 4 damage because we're about as agile as elk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going down to 26 and 21. This is not a good way to start your adventure. Maybe I should have just ran away. Now comes the Vigor test. Let's see how this goes for the Paladin. Paladin's going to be the one that does it. I'm never using these dice again. I think they have to go to dice jail. Okay, he also failed, so he's going to take 8 damage. All right, this might be a real short trip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we managed to fail miserably dodging, and we also apparently just decided to get skewered by some demons. At this point, I have a feeling that the girls are probably crying. There's no way they're like, oh, these people are going to save us. Oh, no, they're not. I'm just going to accept my fate. All right, it says here, the chosen hero's survival makes the demon's eyes widen. I'd be pretty wide too if I failed that badly. Behind the cultist readies his most powerful spell, the bloodshot gaze trembling as if witnessing a nightmare. The pain from the demon's horns fades into anger. The hero grabs the demon by the neck, lifts it effortlessly, and hurls it against the wall where it crumbles in a bloody heap. The teenage girls scream in despair as the hero's savagery transforms the chamber into a bloody mess. Strewn with the remains of the demon and the cultist, the hero stares at a massive hands before the transformation reverts. You all realize why the demon lord's power were sought after by the demons. Okay. The hero chosen to intercept the demon gains 4 corruption, feeling the effects of tapping into such dark powers. That, of course, is our Paladin. He's going to go up 4 on the corruption track. Hazel says, "Don't waste more time. We need to go." You lift the trembling girls from the ground and carry them through the passage, which Hazel quickly seals with a touch. You race through the dark corridor, hoping the mystical protection will delay any pursuing demons. Gain fact saved teenagers, and we'll go to 11. The game does come with a campaign log for Act 1. This is where you're going to be able to track a lot of the things. For example, our facts checklist. We also have our campaign progress, what we've actually accomplished. We do have some party notes if we need to write anything down. We have the players that we can put in and what heroes they're running. We also have a sheet that tells us what cards we've acquired, what quest cards we have, what level 1 items we have, level 2, 3, and 4 items we have, and of course on the back side of this is going to be even more stuff that we can track. Nope, I lied, it's blank piece of paper. I just figured this was double-sided, so that'd be 2. All right, we're going to put, now of course we have to mark our facts checklist of where it said saving, was it save teenagers? So we're going to put that down here. This is all in alphabetical order, thank goodness. So we're just going to fill that in. Now, if you don't want to write on the one that you've got in your box, there is I believe there is a place where you can go to print one off. I don't actually have that specific website for you, but if you do a search, I'm sure you could find where these are, along with any probably erratas and FAQs that they may be developing along the way. So just be sure that in case you don't want to mess up the one that because it only comes with one in the box. So in case, or of course you can just photocopy these if you have that ability as well. At the end of the passage, you finally see the light of day as you emerge from an enchanted trap door hidden in the dune. Just down the dune where you stand, there is a camp guarded by a few cultists clad in dark robes. Tied with ropes are many people, young and old, men and women dressed in ragged clothes, their bodies marked by dirt and lashings. Human sacrifices! That's how the demons accumulated their power to breach the sigils. We need to leave. You were just infused with hellish power, and they have an entire army here. At best, you can try to save those in the camp before the demons notice, but even that is risky, says Hazel, her eyes lost in the scene marred with unshed tears. Now, of course, again, if we have Yarick is in our group, something would happen, but no, apparently I've been choosing all the wrong people. Now, again, I have two options. I can approach the campsite and try to save the targets of sacrifice, or flee into the desert before the demons can catch your sight. The paladin is going to overtake all of the things the other two. You know, it's funny because you think the two that probably wouldn't want to do all this, well, you know, the thief thing probably pretty sneaky. We're going to go for it. We're going to approach the camp and try to save the targets of the sacrifice. You sneak close to the camp, trying to avoid getting the attention of the cultists. Each hero makes an agility 10 check. This went swimmingly last time. Let's see how we do. We'll roll our dice. Everybody has a +1 at least. I do know the rogue has a +2, so hopefully these are good. We got an 8, 9, 10. I needed a 10. This is the rogue. She gets +2. So you need to meet or beat. The other ones do beat. Wow, the paladin came to the rescue here. So we did actually all pass that test. This is pretty cool. I'm glad there's already significant choices already being made in the game. You managed to get close to the camp with the cultists unaware of your presence. I don't know how with the rattling armor of that paladin. It's easy for you to sneak in and free the people. A bald man with a long brown beard and a large muscular body speaks to you. Well, ain't this a bit of luck? You lot showed up right on the edge of time. We were about to make a run for it. Better to go down fighting than let those horrible creatures mess with our souls, right? Name's Robert, but folks call me Rob. Thank you, designers. A name I can pronounce. Woohoo! Robert! I got that one! Revealing a hidden bronze knife, he swiftly cuts his bonds, then proceeds to help free the others while speaking. You were just talking about scattering, each running every which way, but now with some strong hands to help, we got a better shot. Let's take them on, those jerks, and make a break for the desert, before the demons sniff us out. Once we're out, we split up and make it harder for them to track us. Old Hazel has just the right trick to keep everyone together. A spell that can move the sands and cover our tracks, Hazel says before being interrupted. If you have saved teenagers, which you do, we get to go to 14. That's pretty sweet. Interrupting Hazel, you see a woman running toward you, her eyes filled with tears, her face contorted in a wide, trembling smile. Her long, red flowing hair follows behind her as she rushes forward and grabs the two teenagers you had been escorting. I thought I'd lost you both. I couldn't do anything. Please forgive me, says the woman, still embracing the girls as she turns to you. You are the heroes, no, saints! I don't know how to thank you. I can't believe someone brought them back, the woman says as she pulls something from under her clothes. Please accept this. It's not much, but it once belonged to my husband in the military. Maybe it can be of some use to you. Open mystery box I and gain card 0, the Veteran's Locket of Longing. Also gain the fact family remains. I will do that in just a moment. Let's finish here. Mara nods, wiping away her tears. The girls stand up, supporting their mother, her expression full of gratitude and a flame a will to live deep in their eyes, perhaps ignited by your actions or by the memory of their father brought to by his keepsake you now hold in your hand. We'll go to 17. Mystery Box 1 does have a full set of sealed cards in it. The cards in this deck are numbered sequentially. Each number is located at the top corner of the card, allowing you to find it quickly without having to search through your entire deck. Numbers appear only on the front side, as the back of certain cards must remain identical for shuffling purposes during the initiative. Okay, so I'm just going to open this up and find box 1, or sorry, card 0. And just like the card says, the very top one has a 0. And as you go through it, you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to take card 0 here and try to cover the rest of them up so you don't see what they are, because that's not what we want to do. I want to show everything off. But I do have this, a Veteran's Locket of Longing. I can activate this at some time to subtract 1 from my corruption if you can remove, and you can remove 1 negative condition token from you. This is also going to give me 2 vigor as well. On top of, I think, also adding 5 health to my health pool. This is a really good item. The only person that does not have any vigor is Kyra. I think we're going to give her that locket, which then will adjust this. Now, the cool thing about this is just going to change into a new stat token. Each one of these stat tokens does have different, this is 10, 11, 12, 9, 8, 7. So we have to get the one that has a less than, has the other numbers on it. She now has 2 vigor, just like our paladin. So I'm just going to slide that back under there. And her starting hit points are now going to go up by 10 to 40, and then to another 5, I think, because of this, going to 45 total health. I'm going to adjust this track as well. So she got 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's up to 41. I also noticed I had the wrong token there for her. She should have the 0 in here, not the one that has no numbers. So if she ever does do a critical, she'll at least do 2, even though she has 0 for that number. We're going to place that deck back into our mystery box here and seal that up. So we'll have to get the rest of the cards later. Now, do note that, as you can tell, this box was absolutely full. You cannot sleeve the cards and stick it back in this mystery box. So if you do sleeve cards, I would sleeve them as you pull them out of that. And if you notice, I haven't had a chance to sleeve any of my cards, but they probably will be sleeved before we go into the actual dungeon, because at that point we might be shuffling some cards. All right, back to 17. Only 4 cultists guard the camp. You and Rob prepare an ambush, disguising yourselves in tattered capes and mock restraints to blend with the captives. As planned, the prisoners approach, begging for water. The cultists sneer, raising their whips and seizing the moment. You strike swiftly, overwhelming them. Gathering everyone, you escape into the desert, with Hazel leading the way. Despite her age and small stature, she moves with surprising vigor over the sand, expertly navigating the dunes. Oddly, the sands shift behind you, a gentle wind erasing your footprints. Concealed by the desert, you press on to search for food and water. So at this point, we do get the fact heroes of the escape. I'll mark that on our campaign log and go to 21. You lead the escapees through the barren desert, searching for sustenance while evading the gaze of flying demons. The distant mountains offer a glimmer of hope, but the journey is grueling. Despite your urgency, the old and the wounded slow your pace. With luck on your side, you find a small, forgotten pond that provides just enough water to keep everyone alive until you reach the foothills. There, the underground passage finally offer you a refuge from the scalding sun. You scavenge for food, collect water, and conceal the refugees from the demons above. Some do not survive the trek, and in a cavern chamber you lay them to their final rest, etching their names into the stone walls. If Mordak is in your group, well, again, we do not have Mordak. Amidst mourning, a sense of relief washes over the group. You've escaped the demons and the desert's wrath, finding shelter at last. 23. You awaken to the dim glow of dawn, the desert air still cool against your skin. Nearby, Rob and Hazel converse in low tones beside the dying embers of the campfire. Noticing you're awake, Hazel deftly flicks a toasted scorpion from the ashes with her dagger, offering it to you. Breakfast, Black Rook, rock scorpions, crispy, and worry not. Old Hazel already removed all the venom, explains Hazel. The scorpion's black chitin glistens, its tiny pincers frozen in a final grasp. Hunger overrides hesitation. The shell cracks between your teeth, releasing a smoky, bitter flavor that is oddly satisfying. Absolutely not. No way. This is the part of like when you watch shows like The Amazing Race, this is where like, oh, it's great to be in the show. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do this, I'm out. Because there'd be no way, I'm already deathly afraid of bugs. I couldn't eat a bug. I would probably be dead. I'd probably be dead. Wow, yuck. Hazel moves a short distance away, gesturing for you to join her. As you sit closer, her voice drops to a gravelly whisper. I can't believe you fell for the fact that I made you eat a scorpion. Oh, har, 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 har. No. Oh, I crack myself up. Okay, here we go. There's something you must know. While you successfully took the power of the demon lord, it is not something a mortal can wield for long. It will slowly consume you. And if you falter, it may even escape your control. Her gaze meets yours, the weight of her words sinking deep. Time is short. Old Hazel does not have the power to preserve your mind, but Old Hazel knows who can, and they are close by. The Temple of Ardvi, the Djinn of Healing, is in a viper folk colony not far into the desert. I had hoped venturing there would be peaceful, but Rob has just told Old Hazel a dire tale. Hazel makes a gesture at Rob, who approaches you, his expression troubled. I was telling Old Hazel I was in the Viper's palace the night before they grabbed me and the girls. Priests are acting really strange, sacrificing their eggs. A lot of Viper folk got the dark blister on their scales, and they're getting mad by the day. I can show you the way, but I ain't going back in there. So at this point I can read, why do you need the Djinn's help? How do you know so much about this, Hazel? And Rob, tell me more about the village and the disease. I'm going to guess this is just like the other thing. I'm going to start at A, go to B, and go to C, and then go to 24. If I'm wrong about that, and then totally wrong, why do we need the Djinn? Isn't a good thing, would be a pretty good thing to know anyway. Hazel's eye narrow, her tone firm. Corruption is no simple magic. You are not sick nor wounded. No mortal power can protect from the taint of a demon lord. Only Djinns can ease your soul against its such darkness. I claim not that Ardvi will be able to solve this, but Old Hazel knows he will be able to give you some protection. Without it, your time will run faster than the blood of a gaping wound. I am looking over at 23, and 23 is just right over here, and it does say the same thing where you can read B, C, and D, so we're just going to go to B. So at this point, if you are actually done listening to me, Old Hazel, I do want to mention that this is on Foreteller. You can pick it up there as well. They will go through the entire narration of the book that you can get if you're interested in hearing somebody else do a, professional job of this, instead of me just scratching along trying to be Old Hazel and needing to drink a lot of water while I do it. Hazel opens her eyes wide, staring at you as if piercing your very soul. Old Hazel knows many things you wouldn't believe or understand. Not yet, anyway. Trust in Old Hazel, who has lived long and never betrayed an ally. Listen well and do your part. Otherwise, you won't have much of a future. At this point, we go to that D again, which can tell me that I can now go to Rob. Tell me more about the village and the disease. Rob takes a deep breath, his gaze distant. Aye, we went there 'cause one of the twins got really sick, and the serpents have good healing priests, but something was off there. The priests were sacrificing their eggs in the name of Ardvi. A lot of them had these black oozing blisters, some scales dark and falling off. They were spooked, afraid of their own shadows, and the altar room was sealed off, even to their kin, only leaders walking in and out. I got what I came for, medicine for an alchemist, but I left quickly, had a bad feeling about staying. The place gives me chills. I may just be a blacksmith, but I worked with the Arcerian army for years. The danger never made me turn tail, but the snake den? It cursed, I tell you. I think I changed his accent, but that's... Waiting for the next question, Hazel and Rob take a bit of the mall-toasted scorpion. A bite. Oh. We're done with that. We're going to go to prepare to depart. 24. You rise to your feet and begin gathering your belongings, the weight of your journey ahead pressing upon you. Rob, arching forward, began to draw a simple map in the sand with his fingers. The place ain't far, these days at most. I know the way, and I hope the map helps. I'll stay behind here with Hazel and meet ya after you're done there. Don't worry about any damage to your gear. I'll fix it up when you get back. Again, I think it changes accent, but that's okay. That's what foreteller's for. At least it'll be keeping the accents the same. At this point, I'll check to see if I have Tuscan in your group. Nope, don't got him. Continue on. Then we're going to go through here. If you have the family remains, go to 26. If you don't have the family remains, but have heroes of the escape, go to 27. If you have twins adopted by Uncle Rob, go to 28. And if you have none of these facts, go to 29. I have 20. I will be going to 26. You gather water and provisions for the journey. Mara approaches you, her eyes carrying a hidden hope. Heroes, take care. We will hide with the rest of the escapees. I'll do my best to give others the hope you gave me. Please return safely. Everyone will be waiting here in the mountain. Wishes Mara to you as you finish packing. If Marcouche is in your group, something happens. Sweet. I apparently grabbed the only 3 people that are not part of the adventure. I don't understand this. I do get the gain fact, Mara, leader of the resistance. We'll mark that onto our sheet off camera, but I will put that into our facts. It says here, Old Hazel will stay behind for now with Rob. We'll meet once you return from your meeting with Ardrivi. Says Hazel, nodding at you with confidence. The escapees organize a quick farewell, their shouts of encouragement echoing as you leave. You feel their hope restored, their will emboldened to resist the demons once more. Looking back, you see the children running and playing, a stark contrast to the devastation elsewhere, a small island of peace amidst hell. You leave them in the security of the mountain and descend back into the desert, heading southwest towards the snake's den. In the distance, you see a large cavern entrance carved into the foothills of a massive rock formation. The mouth is sculpted in the shape of a giant snake's head, serving as the entrance to the serpent's den, the viper folk town that Rob mentioned. Approaching cautiously, you initially see no guards, and the area is unusually quiet. As you draw nearer, you notice a viper folk appearing dead and covered with black, pustulant marks on her body. Before you can advance further, the viper folk moves slightly, opening one of her eyes. Get quest card 1, the Lost Alchemist. Oh, all right, I get a quest card. And if Manuel was left behind, I get to read this. Nope. There's a stack of quest cards here. There's a lot of them in here. We're going to do quest 1 is what we were told to do. So it says here, as you step closer, the viper folk woman's eyes flicker open, filled with pain and desperation. She reaches out with a trembling, scaled hand. Please, strangers, find my sister, she hisses, barely audible. She's an alchemist, trying to cure the plague consuming our people. She coughs, dark blood staining her lips. The new council leader, he is wrong. There is something dark behind the sickness. Her words come haughtily. Others say it's not the demons because it began years before, but we know the truth. Her gaze locks onto yours. Take this, she rasps, pulling a bundle of purple herbs from her belt. As she lifts her hand, a small, deep puncture wound beneath her ribs began to bleed more profusely. She needs it to finish the cure. Hurry, she hasn't much time. Her breast shudders and her eyes close as life slips away. Find the Viper Folk alchemist and deliver to her the purple herbs. Turn the card upon completing this objective. All right, now we know what to do. At this point, we'll go to Section 1, Entry 1, which is probably going to be where that is. This is Section 1. It's Snake's Den entrance. You step into a large chamber, the air thick with the sharp scent of herbs. Fading carvings of coiling serpents line the sandstone walls, worn down by time. Ahead, 3 viper folk move across the sandy floor, their once bright scales now dull and cracked, eyes red and feverish. As they slither forward, shards of broken glass crunch beneath them. Remnants of what looks like vials and bottles scattered across the ground. Their blades gleam in the dim light. Raised without hesitation behind them, statues of ancient priests stand with open arms, their welcoming gestures in stark contrast to the hostility you now perceive. Whatever peace once ruled here has long since faded. The corrupted dungeons. The moment you step inside, a suffocating weight presses against you, an unholy energy thick in the air. To most, it might be a chilling discomfort, but to you, it's much worse. Here, the demon lord presence withers within the crystal, slowly clawing at your soul. There's no time to lose. If you're to withstand its pull, you must find a way to cleanse this place before the demon's influence consumes you entirely. There's a rule here, and this is to explain why this rule is there. At the start of each round, the heroes are going to gain 1 corruption. This rule affects all dungeons in Odalin, so whenever we go there, we're trying to cleanse these dungeons without having the demon take us over, which is always a bad thing. These enemies are dealing with a disease, and it says the first stages. The Viper Warriors begin the game with a weakened token, which means whenever they attack, any damage they do to us is going to be 2 less than their normal damage, it says on their attack cards. If attacking with the Venom Blade Fury card, they target the closest hero, and after attacking, they immediately draw and make a new attack. This extra attack may happen only once per Viper Warrior's turn. It then shows us how we're going to set our tiles up for this particular fight, and it does give us a victory down here. If we're victorious, we get 3 equipment cards. Spirit and Mind allow you to flip the bottom or top of certain cards. Both our Necromancer, Vespera and Kyra both have 1 in their... Oh, they have 2. They can flip a couple cards. It's going to be pretty awesome. All right, they both can flip 2 cards. No, I lied. They have a 2 in the stat, meaning they can both flip 1 card, and it shows on the specific one here that I can flip an attack or an aura card for her. It's only a 1 card, even though the stat is 2. As you go up, of course, you'll be able to, those numbers will be more. For her, I've done Chains in Death and Insidious Magic. Those are the 2 I've done for her. The Insidious Magic is the one that, in theory, if I don't have it in my hand, I'm allowed to put it into my hand for our Necromancer, and I kind of did that for all of our characters. Now, hers I chose were these 2. Again, the Crossbow Mastery being the aura that she starts with in her hand if she doesn't draw it. The other one I did is jump into action. I could do 4 more damage on my next attack for that turn if I wish to, which I think would be pretty awesome. For our the Paladin, I'm only able to flip 1 card. So again, I just did his aura. I haven't played with these characters before, so I don't know what the best combos and things would be. So just flipping their auras, knowing I always have them available to me at their highest potential, I think is a good way to start. At this point, we're going to begin the dungeon part of the game. I have my initiative deck set here, which is going to have our 3 heroes in it, 1 of the extra cards to give us an extra action, and then our 3 enemies. I'll explain kind of how that works as we go. I'm just going to give this a good old truffle shuffle here. We're going to place this out. Now, once this is set, it is set for this particular room. There is a door at the end of this hallway. I am not allowed to activate that door unless all the enemies are defeated. That's kind of how this game works. So you do have to actually defeat the enemies before you can move on. We're going to put out our cards. We have the Green Warrior to go first. Then our Necromancer is going to go. Our Paladin is going to go, followed by our Amulet of Power. Then it's going to be Kyra. And then finally, it's going to be our last 2 bad guys. It's going to be the green one, and then it's going to be our blue one. That's how we're going to do this. Now, if you notice, each of these cards, these I'm going to show you these are the enemy initiative cards. And it's also going to have all the things you need to know on it. First, as it hit points, the defense, you have to roll, meet, or beat this in order to deal damage with your attack cards. This shows you the miniature you're supposed to be using and what base it is. So this particular one is going to be this one with the green hexagonal base, I guess you could say. That is what is on that. And then each one of them is exactly the same, just with a different type of base on it. We're going to place our 4 tokens here again with the bases onto our sheet. They all start with 25 and they begin with a weakened token. So I'm going to place 1 weakened token on each of the initiative cards there. And that, of course, means that they are going to do 2 less damage each turn. As we go, I'm going to drop this onto the next activating person so we can follow along as we go. We're going to be starting with, of course, our Viper Warrior is going to be our first person. Now, before it takes its turn, we are going to go through the entire steps of how the game starts at the beginning. We're going to go to the very first part of the dungeon phase. And at the start of each round, we're going to discard any cards we have in our hand. And at this point, we're going to draw 4 new cards. So we're going to shuffle up our card decks. We're going to get 4 new cards. I will tell you that the sleeves that this game came with are absolutely horrible. So if you need to pick up new sleeves for this game, it wouldn't be bad. Having a new set of opaque sleeves would probably be a good idea. These are going to rip pretty quick. So I'm going to start with 4 cards for our Paladin and see what we have received. We have Divine Retribution, which is an attack card. And again, during your turn, you can play 1 attack card. You also get 3 actions, but only one can be an attack action. These are instant cards. Instants can only be played out of your turn. So only when enemies activate or other allies activate. We also have our Aura of Mastery. This is his aura that he's supposed to start with. So since he has it in his hand, we do not get to draw it out of the deck. We're going to keep the 4 cards we have. This is an instant ability that we have at the bottom of this card if we wish to play it. We also have another attack here. This one is range 1 damage, range 2. You get to heal 2. For myself. This is going to be, now these, of course, like I said, the top ones are the demon doing things, where the bottom ones for this particular ones are going to be us, the blue ones, the Holy Knight. This one is going to take a damage, but then whenever you receive heal, I also am going to gain a soul. Aura of Sacrifice, or I get plus, Aura of Sacrifice is an or plus 1 of these, and there is an Aura of Sacrifice up here. If I'm in my Aura of Sacrifice right there, this will do something different. We have our Divine Retribution again and all this. Okay, so those are his 4 cards. He is going to be all set to go. We'll see what our other characters get. Oh, on top of that, after drawing our 4 new cards, you only draw cards if there are enemies on the board is the other thing. We do not keep drawing cards. Once the enemies are destroyed, you stop doing the actual combat part of the dungeon, and you're just going to be moving through the dungeon, interacting with objects and things of that nature. So you're not going to be able to gain the stuff on these cards anymore. I'm also going to regain 3 action points. Now, like I said, there are some things missing from the game at the time of this recording, so I'm just using these as action tokens. If they become corrupted, we'll use something else to signify that those are a corrupted action token. Also at the start, we're going to gain 1 corruption, going up to 5 for him. And I do want to mention, of course, there is no hand limit size. So as you're playing, if you actually do able to draw all of your cards, you totally can have them all in your hand if you want to. Of course, at the beginning of each round, you're going to discard them and shuffle and grab new cards. So if you get 6, then you're going to get 6 new ones back and forth and so on and so forth. All right, so that is the beginning of the round for him. We'll move over to our Necromancer, who is going to gain 3 action tokens, 1 corruption, 4 cards. We'll shuffle this up a little bit and see what cards we're able to get for her. We'll play some pretty good ones here. See how this goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. She also, of course, has a power that can summon the undead, so she does have that ability too. We have King's Brand, which is an attack using the demon. We also have an ability, if we wish to take 3 damage. An enemy within 5, I can weaken and slow them. And then Curse Mastery, like I said, is her ability here. Curse Mastery allows her to place a token onto an enemy, a status token onto an enemy, which would be good. Because if you see here, your attacks deal 3 more damage against targets with at least 1 negative condition token on them. That's kind of what her deal is. We also have another one here. We can just bestow a curse. We can do Curse Mastery on something. We have a +2 corruption to deal 5 damage at range 2 and then heal myself 5. That's kind of cool. We have just 2 damage, range 6, and the target gets poisoned. So there are some things we have. We have a lot of little fun things we can do with her. Our third person is her. Sadly, I don't have any more of those cool tokens. We're just going to use these blue ones as her action tokens. She's going to gain 1 corruption, draw 3 cards. We'll give these again a good little shuffle here and see what we have got. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cards. Did I get 4 for her? Yes, I did. Okay. She has this one, 1 damage and stealth. So like I said, with this stealth, if you play a card like that, I'm able to gain the ability to have that stealth, which is written here on her thing. She has Nature's Warper or Wrapper. It gives her a corruption, -3 health, but heroes you heal gain +2 and also gain empowered, which is pretty good for them. She has the ability to lose health again and deal damage and heal allies. She's able to gain 4 on your next attack, which is probably what this is going to be used for more than anything else. This one gives poison to a lot of people within an area, and AoE in this game can affect your heroes. You can affect allies and even yourself in this game, so do be careful when you place down area of effects. They can affect more than just the enemy. Then we also have this Vanish card. Now, if you notice, she did not get her crossbow mastery, which she's supposed to start with in her hand. So I will look through this, find crossbow mastery, and I get to stick that into her hand and shuffle up my deck again. So she actually gets to start with 5 cards as opposed to the other characters that got 4 because they started with that card they were supposed to have in their hand. At this point, we will begin. We'll start with our, what is this, the warrior here, Viper Warrior. Now the way they are going to activate is they do have a small deck of cards up here that we're going to draw from, and we are going to activate them based on this card here. So let's shuffle those up a little bit, put them back in there, and we'll draw our top card and see what happens. This is going to be for this enemy right here. The card that we have is going to be Lethal Dose. It's the closest hero. Now notice it doesn't say any range on here. So that means the range is going to be 1. It's going to do 10 damage, which is a little ridiculous. And if the target is poisoned, deal 10 more damage. Why, are you kidding me? Oh my god. If not, the target gains poisoned, then shuffle this card back in the deck. This is super bad. All right, but now it's going to move 4 and attempt to do this. It is going to move towards the closest hero, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is of course our paladin because it's the closest hero. You can move diagonal in this game, totally fine, but whenever you do, you are going to suffer the consequences of whatever is the adjacent to you. For example, if I had a spiked pit here and I went diagonal in this direction, I would still suffer the damage from that pit because you're always going to take kind of whatever is negative around where you're trying to get through. All right. Now, it's going to now attempt to make its attack. It cannot because it does not have a ranged attack. So at this point, it will double. It's going to move again, and that's going to be its turn. It's going to move 4 spaces. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and going to get right up on top of us on the first turn here. Next is going to be Vespra, so we're going to move this token down 1, and it is going to be her turn. She now can perform 3 actions. Her first action is to play out her aura. I want her aura going. With her aura going, that is her first action. Auras are going to stay out for the entire combat. They don't get discarded until the combat is over. Then they will all get discarded into the deck of cards and you'll have to redraw them in the next battle. The next thing she is going to do is her attack. She is going to use the Tribute Taker. It's going to gain 2 corruption. So we're going to play that card out and gain 2 corruption going to 3. At this point, we're continuing on. It's going to do 5 damage at range 2. Now she is right here. So 1, 2, she is within range. The line of sight for the example in this game is really nothing blocks line of sight except for barriers, which would be things like walls and doors. Obstacles, terrain, and combatants do not block line of sight in this game at all. And the way you draw a line of sight is any corner of your square can touch any corner of their square without going through a barrier, means you're going to have line of sight. So I really don't think line of sight is going to be very tough to have in this game. There may be a few maps out there that probably are going to make that an issue, but for the most part, you're going to be able to freely see most of the board. For this particular attack, it's going to do 5 damage. I get to use my staff, is my only one that's going to give me attacking dice. So I'm going to get a black and a blue die. So we're going to roll the black and blue die up. We got ourselves a soul and we got ourselves 2 successes as well. And the defense for our enemies is going to be 2. So that means we have meet or beat the defense on this enemy. So we're going to be able to do our damage, which is going to be 5 damage. Plus, because the enemy does have a weakened token on them, I'm going to deal an extra 3 because it has a negative condition. So we're up to 8 damage. Since I don't have any power, I do not get to add any to my attack, and it was not a crit, so I do not get to add 2 more. So instead, we're just going to do 8 damage. Just doing 8 damage is what we call just fine. We'll lower our green token by 8. And since that's 10, just subtract 2 goes to 17. If you did ever have to have more than 50 health, these do flip over, so it would be 50 plus whatever you're doing. If you ever get to a point where you flip the token, you do not continue on down the track. So say this character had 52 and I did 23 points of damage, I would stop at the 2, and just put this back on the 50 from what I understand. Of course, if I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comment section below, but I believe that's how I understand the rule. I do have 1 action left, so I could play 1 more card, but I'm going to keep these 2 cards. This instant ability I might be able to use later, and that would maybe help me out. One thing I could have done is I could have moved a space when I made this attack, or I could have moved after I made the attack. I am actually going to move right here, so we all are kind of like this gun line, firing down the barrel of the gun. Boom, 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 boom. We'll move our token over to the paladin here, and he's going to go next. But before I do have to continue. I have to finish my card. I forgot that I get to heal 5. That's like the main reason I use that card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goes back up to 26. She can have a total of 30, so I am still down quite a bit. And now I think about it, I'm supposed to have 30. I think I started her at 25. She's supposed to have 30. She should be at 30 because she would have taken 1, 2, 3, 4 from that thing that happened during the one great athletic ability she had. Then I'm supposed to heal 5, so I'll be back up to full. If I'm wrong about that, you'll see a note in the video, but I believe I put her starting token in the wrong spot. She was supposed to have 30. And the rogue is supposed to have 45, which should be here, but then -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. She is totally fine. Also, our paladin should have 45, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then -8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's in the right spot. I just had that token wrong. Sorry about that. His first action is he's going to play out his aura, which is going to allow him to give the protection and retribution auras double power. I am going to spend 2 souls, going down to 1, to activate one of my auras. I do not think this is an action. I could be wrong about that. I could do the aura of protection, which heroes within range 2 gain 1 green die. It actually would now be 2 green dice because if I am now doubling the aura of protection. I could do the retribution. Enemies that attack heroes in range 2 take 2 damage. They would take 4. I think I'm going to do that one. That's going to be the one I'm going to do. So I'll mark that with my cube to show which one I'm using. The next action he's going to use is to be able to play Enduring Faith. It's going to make him lose a health, but it says it has a little hourglass symbol, which means this will be out until it is his turn again. It says whenever you receive heal, you gain 1 soul, or of sacrifice, or +1 soul. So we're going to put that down. It's going to be kind of like an aura. It does stick around, but not for as long. It does have an hourglass symbol. I am going to lose 1 health, going to 32. And at this point, I am going to spend an action token from my Demon Hunter. My Demon Hunter is going to lose 2 health, going down to 39. And at this point, she's also going to gain 1, no, where is it? Here it is. 1 corruption, which she's going to go to 2. And then heal 2, an ally in 5. He's within 5. So I'm going to heal this character. 2 plus an other card in your hand. So I'm going to heal him 2 +2 per card in hand. I've got 4 cards in my hand. I haven't gone yet. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He's going to get 10 health back, going to 42. That's monstrous. That's fantastic. Now, notice I had to use an action outside of her turn for an instant. Instants can only be played outside of your turn. So she could only play this on his turn. Now, sadly, this was my aura, which means I'm not going to get it back, but I think healing him up was going to be huge. There are cards out there that have the instant and ability symbols. These are called instant abilities. You can use them either as an instant or you can use them as an ability on your turn. Because he was healed, he is going to gain a soul. And with his last action, he is going to attack for 1, range 2, and then you heal 2. I'm going to do that for him. Now, again, one thing I do want to apologize for is the gray miniatures. Normally, I do try to paint the miniatures up for my games before we play them, but I'm just pretty excited to get this to the table. I've been waiting for this game, and sadly, I've not really had a chance to paint them up. It's been a pretty busy time in my life, so painting's become a little bit tougher to get to, though that's usually never a You should never say that, because painting is also an amazing hobby and I love it so much. He is going to attack this guy with that card. His equipment allows him to roll a blue and white die, and he needs to get 2 in order to make this a success. He got a absolutely horrid result and is going to gain 1 corruption, and this attack is not going to fire off. Now, even though I did not succeed, I do get to still heal 2. I just don't get to do the damage. That was not ideal. Getting 1 corruption goes to 6, but this will bring me to 44. And because I healed, this will kick in, which means I receive another soul. He has completed his turn and will move to the Amulet of Power. I am going to choose a hero to take an extra turn. It recovers all spent action tokens and draws 3 cards. If at any time, I can choose to exhaust this and use this card. If I do, I cannot do it on an enemy's turn. It has to be on one of our turns. Anytime, including an enemy's turn. So if an enemy is doing something, I can actually jump in. A hero can heal any amount equal to half its maximum health, rounded down once per combat. It can't be recovered by any means. So once I do this in a combat, I cannot get it back. But interestingly enough, it's per combat. So this is considered a combat. Once this combat is over, this will refresh. So if I do have a character that's taken a ton of damage, I could use this to heal him or her and get most of their health or some of their health back. And then this would just get ready for the next combat. So it's kind of cool. Now, I do have to choose a person to take an extra turn. I could choose the Necromancer. I could choose the Paladin if I wanted to. In this instant, I'm going to have my Paladin go again. And one thing I keep forgetting about is he had 4 movement. He could have moved before this, and I think I am going to do that. But whenever you leave a square that is adjacent to an enemy, you have to subtract 2 from that movement. So I'm going to just be able to move. I'm going to move just to right there, which is going to cost me 2 movement points instead of 1. And if I moved again, that would cost me 2 movement points. If I move over here, it would cost me 2 movement points. But now I'd be able to start moving at 1 each. But this way, he can get up in front, kind of protect the people behind. He is going to regain all 3 of his action tokens, and he's going to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully these are going to help him out. Now, because this is an extra action, I'm allowed to make an attack with this action. And I can use any abilities from here with my 3 action tokens. And if I have any instant cards, I'm able to have them available as well. But of course, I can only play instants not on my turn. So lucky for me, I did get 3 cards that I could use for myself. This one gives me a soul and pulls enemy. Pull 3 for 2 enemies in 6. So I could move the other enemies up. I think right now just leaving them where they are is a really good plan. We have this one. This one allows me to gain a corruption, 5 damage to all enemies in 8 who were hit by an attack this turn. So far there's only been 1 enemy that's been hit, so I'm not sure if I want to do that. But -3 to do 2 damage. You will gain toughened, aura of protection, toughened. You gain aura of protection or an extra soul, I think is how that works. Oh, that means this thing I think is supposed to give me an extra soul. I think is how this works. I could be wrong about how this works. Whenever you receive healing, gain 1 soul, aura or sacrifice, or aura of sacrifice, or +1 soul. I think I'm going to gain +1 soul for being healed. I got healed twice, so I'm going to gain 2. I believe that's how that works. I could be wrong, but same with this one. I could lose 3 health, do it 2 points of damage, and you gain toughened, which would mean that I'd be more durable, which would be pretty good. Then I can also gain the aura protection, or I can gain a soul. I think that might be something we do. Our other attack is actually from the demon side. It's -1, but does 4 damage, and it gives +1 dice. Area 2x2. It's a profane cloud. A target takes half total damage. Range 4. I don't have anything that's really going to benefit from. Enemies within 7 or less, with 7 or less health, and in 2 are defeated. Oh, if we can get him down to 7 or less, I can take him out. That'd be awesome. Let's do that. So let's hit him with something. Let's hit him with what? Unholy Knight? What's this do? 2. Here we go. Let's do this one. This one looks good. We're going to hit him with this, with one of our actions. I'm going to lose 2 health, do 4 damage. And then for the rest of this turn, I'm going to be able to gain +1 green dice. And if an aura of sacrifice, or I get +1 soul. I'm going to get +1 soul. We're going to put that here again to show that that's still going on. All right, I'm going to go to 6 souls because I'm going to attack this guy. I am going to lose 2 health to make the attack, bringing me down to 42. Hopefully this does not fail as bad as the other one did. I got 2, thank goodness, but I also got a corruption again. Wow, he's a master. So this is supposed to probably have more souls on it than corruption, right? But oh well, he got a corruption from that. That's out of control. He's rolled that twice. It's only on here 1 time too. Oh man. So his corruption goes up to 7. But he does get to deal 4 damage. +1 is 5, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down to 12 health. Now I could move 3 if I want to, and I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to move 1, 2, because it's going to cost 2 to move there, and then 1 more up to there for 3. That leaves me with 2 actions, and that's just fine. I think I'm going to keep them. I am going to move into Kyrie's turn, who only has 2 actions. And her 2 actions are going to be to play this, jump into action. I gain 4 damage to my next attack this turn. If you left stealth this turn, I also gain +2 accuracy, or +2 successes. That is just fine. I'm not going to get the successes, but I do get to do the 4 damage. And then I'm going to play this as my attack. It's going to do 1 damage plus stealth. So far we are hitting for 5 if we actually are able to hit this guy. And of course, I'm going to target the person right next to me. We'll roll our dice, see how we do. I need 2 successes here. I got 2 successes and I got a soul as well. That's going to do 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bringing it down to 7. I gain 1 soul going to 5, and that costs me 1 of my action points. Actually, it cost me both my action points because I played this card as well. They'll go in the discard pile. Here's my discard pile. I still do have these 2 cards, but I don't have any action points to use them. Now, this does give me stealth, so we're going to have to go through that. After playing a stealth card, you may move 2. If no enemy is within 2 of you, you become stealthed. So while I'm stealthed, enemies only target you if no other hero is available. If you are attacked, I have to get to roll an extra green dice, and I lose stealth. At the start of your turn, lose stealth and gain +1 success and +1 damage on my next attack. So at this point, I'm going to move 2 over to here, and now I am considered stealth. I'm going to place this token underneath here. I know this is not or actually I might just place it kind of right next to her. I know this is not actually a stealth token, that's used for something else, but at least it'll help remind me that she's stealth. The green enemy is going to activate next, but before it does, I do have 2 action points left on my paladin. He is going to use one of them to perform Merciful Judgment. An enemy within 7 or less health in 2 of you is defeated, and that is I can use as an instant. I'm going to defeat this guy. He only has 7 health left, so this enemy is considered dead. We're going to remove him from the initiative track and kind of slide these around so that we're all set to go. Lucky for me, actually, it's all my guys first. We got really lucky on the draw on how these enemies are going to come out. All right, this is going to be discarded, and I have 1 action for him left if I want to use it. We'll draw our card for our enemy. This is going to be the green one in the back. Our green one is going to Venom Blade Flurry. Here we go. This is, oh, move 6. Oofta. This is going to be bad. It's going to go 1, 2, oh, bringing his friend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now he's going to do 9 health. Now notice it does say hero with the least hit points, but remember, according to our book, Venom Blade Flurry, it's going to target the closest person. It's going to do this attack, and then it's going to draw another card and attack again. Now at this point, I get to roll defense dice to try to lower the amount of damage that I'm going to take. For each symbol that I receive on here, it's going to lower the damage by that number. So it'd be lowered by 3 if I rolled that die. Now if I roll this, not only is that dodge, that lowers it by 3, which is really good. And if I roll another one, if I actually roll 2 of these symbols on the dice, that means I did a perfect dodge and I don't take any damage. I also would not take the condition that's going to happen as well. If I do block any of this damage, and I will still take the condition token. So if this did only 2 damage and I blocked 3 of it, I would still take the condition. The only way to prevent from getting any of the conditions that are on those cards is if you actually get the boom, perfect dodge, which is what we're going to roll. Maybe he's learned a thing or two since trying to dodge demons, or sorry, incoming fireballs. We'll see how this goes. He was able to block 1. Nope, still not very good at dodging. So he's going to take 8 health, and that's going to bring him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 34. But now, because of my aura of retribution, enemies that attack heroes within 2, he is considered a hero, is going to take 2 damage, and that is doubled because of the effect of my aura mastery that I have. My holy aura of retribution is doubled. So he's going to take 4, and that's the green guy. He's going to go down to 21. Now, sadly, he is also going to gain the poison token as well. Now, at the end of each of his turns, he is going to take 2 damage because of the poison token. And if he uses the Amulet of Retribution, sorry, the Amulet of Power, he would also take the 2 after completing the action from the Amulet of Power as well. So he might not want to do that anymore. That Venom Blade Fury card is done, but because of the scenario rules, I get to draw an extra action now for this person. Hero with less HP. It's going to move 4 towards the hero with the least amount of HP, and then it's going to hit for 5, and the target of all heroes in 1, they gain poison. 4 if the target has less than 15. All right, let's see if it can do that. First, it's going to move 4, but again, has to pay 2 each time it moves through. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It cannot reach its target. So instead, it's going to target this guy and stab him in the back, from how I understand this works. He's going to take 5 damage, and he's going to gain poison. Now, he can't gain a poison token on top of another poison token. You can't take multiple of the same tokens unless the card specifically states that you can gain the tokens over the token limit. Now, he does, of course, get a chance to dodge, which he's been doing fantastic in. Well, he dodged 2 this time. He's getting better. So he's going to take 3 damage. So he'll go down 1, 2, 3, and he's going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So joke's on him. He took more than I did. Now, this was also a Venom Blade Flurry card, but it only is going to activate once for each one of them. It's going to go into this person's turn now. We're going to draw a card and see what we have found. Venom Bite. This is closest hero. Okay, so now I think I did this wrong because this is Venom Blade Flurry. It's just a different version of Venom Blade Flurry. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's actually going to stay right there and target the closest hero. That one I did wrong. It's not going to do what's on the card. It's just going to target the closest hero because that was what the scenario said about Venom Blade Flurry. Venomous Bite is going to go against the closest hero. So this character, move 6, whoop, right up here. Wow, right on us. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten moved up there. Take 8. Target poisoned. If already poisoned, it gains weakened and vulnerable. Oh, barf. Weakened and vulnerable. This is going to be the weakened card, and this is going to be the vulnerable token. Oh boy. So the weakened means I'm going to do 2 less damage, and then this one means I'm going to take 2 more damage when I am attacked. Okay, that's terrible. I'm going to take 8 damage too. If this guy was ever going to roll a perfect dodge, now is the time. He rolled the opposite of a perfect dodge. Wow, he's just bad. He is really bad at this game. So he's going to take 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down to here. This one's going to take 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 down to 21. And I totally made a mistake. This token's going to go here. They were weakened, so they're going to do 2 less. So you'd have done 2, 4, 5, 6. I actually get 6 health back. I forgot about their weakened state. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've been hit by 3 attacks by them. With that token moving back up here, we're going to begin the beginning of the next round. And at the beginning of the turn, I'm going to discard all the cards in my hand, gain back my action tokens, and get 4 new cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, from what I understand, the ones with the, no, this one's done. That one's done right there. Oh, it does. Oh, I should have been rolling an extra defense die. Whoops, totally missed that. That's okay. Let's roll a couple extra defense dice. I should be rolling 3 extra defense dice. Let's see what we got. 1, I get to save 1 of my, oh wait, 1. No, because he's so good. He's so good. I get 1 more health back. That's fantastic. He's at 30. Okay, perfect. This one stays, these 2 actually are going to be able to stay out. This one I'm just going to discard now because I'm not going to get attacked anymore. They stay out and are active until the beginning of my turn, from what I understand. This stays out for pretty much the whole battle, though. We're going to check out our other ones. I do have my other aura. You heal 2 whenever you activate or change your holy aura. That's fantastic. That's actually really good. I might actually do that. That'd be good. Then we have this one, Sword of Zeal. I can choose to choose from 0 to 6, deal twice that to an enemy in 1, then Aura Retribution, or I gain a soul. So I could go to Aura Retribution if I want, or gain a soul. Or the top card is I could take 6, do 6 damage, range 4, 2. I get +2 to my roll, but I do get 2 corruption. He's getting really high on corruption, so I'm not really looking at those. Heal 2 to a hero in 1, and that's any hero, which could be him, which would be good. Which would be fantastic. This is range 5. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Draw 1, place the others in the bottom. And the last one is I get a soul, change the target of an enemy to you. And this is the corruption, do 10 damage. Area 4x4, take half total damage, range 5. Wow, that's not good because I got a whole bunch of people that are right around me. I don't want to do that much damage. All right, we got all these cards to deal with for him. That's going to be his turn, or his draw. Oh, he does also get a corruption, which means he moves up to 8. She is going to gain a corruption to 4, discard her hand, and draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, she is going to gain back her 2 tokens here. She found herself, that's at 4. I have a -2 souls. 1, range 6, target gains vulnerable and curse mastery. Then I get, this one is going to be able to gain a corruption. Enemy turn, you become its target if possible. That doesn't sound like a good idea. But I get 2 defense dice and +1 defense against it. That's not bad. The enemy in 1 gains 1 poisoned if for each negative token already on the ignoring token limits. This is what I meant by when you can do stuff that's going to ignore token limits. This one is 1 corruption, 4 damage, take 2 less from attacks, and that's going to happen for the whole rest of the turn. Ooh, whenever you play 2 instant cards in a single turn, apply Curse Mastery. Ooh, that sounds good. Another aura out there. Then this one is going to be move enemies around, or I can take a corruption and 1 damage to do 3 damage at range 6. And whenever you use an instant, I gain 2 of these. Wow, that might actually be pretty good. Put both of these out and just start using instants instead of attacks. It's not a bad idea. All right, those are her cards. Finally, we have this character here. I'm going to discard her cards, gain 3 actions, and 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. And she's got herself Surge of Vitality. It says 1, no attack, hero in 5 heals 7, plus your power stat bonus. Any bonus damage from a hero card attached to this card, heal 3 from that amount. So notice there's some damage amount here. This right now it's 0. This number could go up. So if I did play this, play this as an attack, it would do damage based on that number there, which is kind of cool. Let's see here. What's this one do? This one is if an attack deals 3, your attack deals 3 per different negative condition on the target. Oh, that's another aura. I totally want to put that down. And then let's see what other attacks do I have. Do I have any like regular attacks? Here we go. -2 damage. That's not bad. Okay, we might do that. Okay, I think we got some plans here for this character. This is going to be super, super cool. Okay, here we go. We're going to start by putting out my aura. That's going to also go down there. Then I'm going to play this as my attack. I'm going to gain 1 corruption, going up to 5. I'm going to lose 1 health, going to 29. And then I'm going to attack for 3, range 6. Whenever I use an instant, I'm going to gain 2 souls. Let's roll our 2 dice up, see how we do. I got a 4. That's fantastic. Sadly, it doesn't give me extra bonus. I would have got extra bonuses on this attack. I could have almost done a crit to this thing. That would have been awesome. But instead, I am just going to do the 3 to the green guy. 1, 2, 3. And because of my dark caster here, my insidious magic, I'm going to deal an extra 3. 1, 2, 3, going to 11. This card also allows me to move 5. So I am actually going to move up to here. So I'm close to them. Now, I do want you to know when I am attacking at range 6, you can attack into melee with absolutely no detriment to the attack. I've used 2 of her actions, and we're now going to move into the Paladin's turn. We'll be moving into the Paladin's turn next, but before I do, there is something I forgot to talk about, and even do, because totally forgot about it. We defeated this villain. This villain is super dead. It has an order 1, so that means that when I am able to defeat this villain, if I was adjacent to it, any person who was adjacent to it would be able to receive souls equal to the number in which it is an order enemy. If you attack something that is a corrupted enemy, you're going to gain corruption equal to its value on its card. On top of that, having defeated this enemy, I was supposed to move up that track. This is called the power track. At the end of the encounter, I can choose to bring this down to 0. You can't do just little bits of it. You have to do it all or nothing. And I can take a bonus that's on the power track as it goes up. Right now, it is at 1. Now, there is a way to gain more out of this advancement power of the power track if you were able to defeat an enemy with the opposite of what it is. So if I were defeated with a corruption card, then I would potentially have a chance at gaining more on the power track. Now, if I remember right, I could be wrong. I think I killed it with this card. So this is an order card, so I can't advance the power track anymore. If I were able to defeat an enemy with a corruption card that is equal to or higher than this value, then I would have advanced it more. But we defeated it with, if I remember right, a order card, so we don't get to advance anymore. Having one there, we are now going to move into that paladin's turn. And because he's poisoned, he is going to take 2 damage. Now the first thing I think I'm going to do is lose 2 souls to change my aura to the aura of, I think I might do it to the aura of sacrifice. You can transfer any of your damage or corruption dealt to allies in 2. Which might be the way to go. No, I think I'm going to take the Aura of Protection. That's what I'm going to do. Aura of Protection to give myself more defense. He's so good at that. But one of the things I really want to do is heal 5. Now, it says here, in addition to changing the aura, and I get 7 with Defender Resolve. This is something I forgot about when I was healing this guy. It says here, Defender Resolve, heals on you are increased by 50% rounded down. Everything in this game is rounded down except for damage. If you're told to deal damage and you have to have it, you're rounding damage up. It's the only thing you round up. I have been forgetting to gain my extra 50% on all heals that I take. So I am, though, going to take the 7. I've totally forgot about the other ones. That's totally fine. But before I do that, I do have to discard this card, and I am going to play out a new aura, which is going to be one of my actions. You heal 2 whenever you activate or change your holy aura. So I'll be changing it. So I'm not only going to get 7, I'm going to get 9. Let's move him up 9, going from 28 to 37. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do penance, which I am going to take 3, 1, 2, 3, going down to 34. And that's going to allow me to lower my corruption by 2. That is also considered an action. Then I'm going to attack with this card, doing 2 damage at range 5. I get to look at the top 4 cards of my deck, draw 1, place the others on the bottom. So let's look at the top 4. I've got 1. I'm going to shuffle these cards up and put them back into my deck to draw 4 more cards. So we've got 1, and then let's see, 2, 3, 4. There we go. We got our 4 cards. So we get to look at these. I get to keep one of these. I don't know which one of these are going to be. Let's take a look. I'm going to keep this card. It's really a moot point because I'm going to have to discard my cards at the end of my turn anyway. But I'm going to keep this one. We're going to fire off this attack, which is going to do 2 damage. And I just realized that unless I do a crit, I'm actually doing no damage. I shouldn't even have done this attack. This makes no sense for me. I get 2 souls, but I even missed. That's awesome. Actually, that was kind of good. I got 2 souls. That was pretty good. I discard that card, and that was our last action with him. We're going to move to the Amulet of Power. I'm going to have Vespra use it, but before I do, during his turn, I'm going to play an instant card that an enemy in 1 gains 1 poisoned for each negative condition token already on it. These both have 1. I am going to give a poison token to the blue character, which is in 1 of Vespra. And that's going to be my last action. She did have that in her pool. Then I'm going to use the amulet, which is going to give me back my 3 actions and allow me to draw 3 cards. And the cards I got were this one. I can use 2 souls to do 4 damage at range 6. I have 2 damage plus 2 per ally in 1 of the target. And there's actually 2 allies within 2. So that's going to be 2, 4, 5, 6 damage, which isn't too bad. This one I'm going to gain a corruption, do 2 damage plus 2 per unspent movement point. I could do a total of 10 points of damage, I think, to this. 10, 11, 12. 12 points of damage, but I'm going to gain a corruption to do it. All right. Oh, we also got these instants down here, too. Remember, if I play 2 instants in a turn, I am able to apply Curse Mastery to one of these creatures. He's got 2 tokens. That's good. More tokens on these guys is going to be awesome. Vespra is going to play an attack. This is the action she is going to use. It's going to be this card right here. I'm going to gain a corruption going up to 6. I'm going to do 2 damage plus 2 per unspent movement. You cannot move after this. I've got 5 movement, so 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12 damage. We just need to get 2 successes here. I got 4. Oh my gosh, this guy's going to be super dead. Now, interestingly enough, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to do 2 damage, or I'm going to do 10 damage. So we're going to go down from 11 to minus 10 is going to go to 1. That's fantastic. Then I'm going to deal 3 damage because of this. So he's going to be super dead. Then on top of that, I do an extra 3 points of damage. So I did what? 3, 6, 16 points of damage that turn to this poor green guy right here. He is super dead. Now, I'm going to be going 1 up on the track. And this was a demon card or whatever. This is a corruption card, and he is an order character. So since this is an order character and I had 2 versus 1 here, this is going to go up an extra 1. So that's now at 3. Also, these 2 people were within 1, so they're both going to gain a soul. Vespra is going to go up to 6, and he's going to go up to 7 souls. That leaves us with only the blue enemy left. We'll see if we're going to be able to take him out, hopefully this turn. Let's find out. She does have 2 actions left, but she's going to hold those, and we're going to move on to Kira. Moving to Kira's turn, the first thing we're going to do is play an instant. I'm going to use this instant right here. It says I'm going to gain a corruption. She's going to go to 7. An ally within 5 gains 2 speed and 9 damage on attacks flanking with you. Now, the way flanking works is if you're able to set yourself up so you're directly in line with each other, you're going to be able to flank this person. So I get a total of 2 speed with this character. I'm also going to lose stealth at this point, so my next attack I'm going to be able to gain +1 damage and +1 success. The first action she's going to do is play her aura, the aura that gives you +3 damage per different negative condition token on the target. That's going to be key. The next one we're going to play is then our attack card. So these are going to be 2 of our actions. We're going to be down to 1 action after this. We're going to be able to lose 1 health, which means we're going to go down to 38 health. Sorry, we're at 39. I'm going to do 2 damage at range 2, and I'm going to get 1 extra success. So we're going to make our attack. Now, before I do, I am going to move my movement value of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of going around this creature, so I have to spend more to go through it. Then I get the extra 2, 1, 2 from that instant card, where I'm going to be able to ally gains 2 movement and 9 on the next attack flanking with you, which is going to be against this creature here. Now we are flanked. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play underhanded tactics to give myself an extra 2 black dice on this attack. We're really going to take this guy down. And I'm pretty sure we're probably going to kill this guy. So before we do anything, I'm going to use this. It says at any time a hero can heal an amount equal to half of its maximum once per combat. So once per combat it can be used. I'm going to use that on our paladin. He's going to go back up to 45 health. He was only at 34, so getting 22 health can only put him back to his maximum of 45. I get to roll 3 black dice and a blue die. Let's see how much damage we can hopefully do to this guy. Okay, we're going to rock this. Rock this thing inside out. We're going to do some good stuff here. I have a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is above the threshold to make it a critical hit. I'm also going to do 2 extra damage. I'm going to gain a soul, putting it up to 6. And if we come to our board, I am going to deal the 2 damage from our die, going down to 19. Then I'm going to deal the 2 damage from the card, bringing it down to 17. I am going to add 4, 3 for it being a critical and 1 from my power. 1, 2, 3, 4, down to there. This enemy does have 2 addition tokens on it, meaning I'm going to do 6 more damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I get to do the 9 damage because I am flanking, which is going to drop this thing into death zone. Super dead dude. All of our characters are adjacent to this enemy, so we're all going to gain 1 soul, and we're going to move our track up 1. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to get the benefits of doing it by 2 because I did kill him with an order card, and this is an order enemy. So he is also off the board. We have defeated all the bad guys, which means there's nothing left to kill on the board. So our turns using cards are going to come to an end. So we're actually going to discard all of our cards. We no longer have to worry about them. And another thing I'm going to do is I am going to spend my track here. I can do that whenever I defeat a villain. So I'm going to spend all of it. You can't spend just a little bit of it. You have to spend all of it. And when you do, you have to choose a top and bottom. And one hero is going to receive the top, one hero is going to receive the bottom. I am going to have our Necromancer gain the top part, bringing her corruption down to 6, but her souls up to 10. And our Paladin is going to gain the bottom, where he can put his corruption down to 4 and his souls up to 10. Our Rogue is doing just fine. We were victorious, so I do get to gain some loot. We get to draw some cards from the level equipment level 1. So we're going to grab our level 1 equipment here, shuffle it up a little bit. We're going to see what we get here. Now, I hope I didn't mix in the level 1 0 cards. I could have mixed in level 0 cards, which would be really bad because they were in front of level 1 cards. Oh, that'd be really funny. Nope, doesn't look like it. I think I level, okay, only got equipment 1, good. I'd hate to have the level 0 cards in here too. Be like, what? I get nothing? It doesn't do anything? All right, we're going to give it a shuffle. We're going to get 3. So 1, 2, 3. We'll see what cards we have for our heroes here. The first one we've got is going to be a hunting glove. This is an accessory. It's going to boost your vigor, your agility, and your luck. That's what this one does. So to figure out who we're going to give that to, that's an accessory. Next, we have a Witch's Old Cape. I think I know who's getting this. Draw all the remaining cards in your deck up to 4. That's awesome. This is light armor. This can be used as a light armor, whoever wants to use a light armor. And the last one is going to be unholy armor. On your hero turn, gain 2 corruption. You run 7 to a villain in 8, dealing 3 damage to it per square you moved. That's bonkers. And it rolls 2 green dice. Well, I know who's getting that. We're going to give that to the Paladin. The Paladin is going to grab this. We'll put it right down here. He does get to increase his spirit by 2, which means this is going to go to a 3. It still has not changed the amount of cards he's able to adjust, but he now has a better die roll that he can do. I'll put this to the side. And I might give both of these to to whoever this is here. This is our, what do we call it? Our awesome character. Necromancer. Okay, there it is. No words. The words, we found the words. I get to increase this by 3. So this is actually going to go to 5, which is going to be a lot better. 5 is right here. So she gets to manipulate 2 cards now because of that, bringing it to 5. That's really good. Also, she is going to gain 1 to her luck stat, which is up here, 2 to her agility stat, which is going to be 3, 1 to her luck stat, which is going to be 1 now, because she didn't have 1. And she gets to gain another vigor, which means this is going to be 2. This is going to go to 2, which means now her max stats are going to go to 35. Characters, just with those those are just 3 items, and our characters got super bonkers awesome. So good. All right, that's that. I'm going to put this to the side as well. The type of dice for this character has not changed. She still has the same amount on colors of dice. Same with our rogue. But we do have a problem with our paladin. He only has 1 white die, which means looking at it, he only has about a 50-50 chance of actually hitting now. So we have to try to find him another item that can maybe power up his weapon, his attacks of some kind. Now we're not done yet. We have to get to the exit, which is no problem. Now this isn't the exit. This is just the first room of the dungeon. I know. Barely got through the first room, and here we go. All right, we're going to go to the next round because everybody's going to collect their action points, and you no longer draw cards because you are out of combat. So our characters all still get their 3 action points that they can use to do things with. And they all are going to gain 1 corruption, moving the corruption stats up on our characters. We're going to start with our necromancer, 1, 2, 3. It's going to use all 3 of their actions to move. 1, 2, 3, and then 1. You can open a door if you are next to the door and are able to interact with it. She ran out of actions, she can't. Same with the paladin. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. He can't do anything. He used all 3 of his actions. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now she has another action point left, so she is able to interact with that door, and we're going to be able to move into the Chamber of Purification. But we're going to do that in the next video. That's right. Leaving a little bit of a cliffhanger here. We're going to have to go through that and do the rest of the dungeon in the next video. This video, of course, was taking a little bit longer because we had that story part and having to explain all the different mechanics that go on in this game. There is a lot to go on in this game. I do enjoy all the different aspects of it so far that I have played. I like the fact that our characters grow in strength just from those 3 items alone that we got. I think we really boosted our necromancer quite a bit. I like that there are some status tokens, but there's not an overwhelming amount of them, so it's not, oh, you're not completely bogged down by tokens. I like the cards that the enemies have. There's not a lot of them, but there is enough to give the attacks that they get a very unique flavor. I think that's fantastic. I like having this board over here that tracks the hit points for our characters and the enemies that we're fighting. The thing that really is great is having the double abilities on all these cards. I think that's really cool, having to really have a great idea of what you want to do with your characters. Moving into the next room, if there are enemies, we would reset our actions and we'll reset all of the enemies on here. So if we had, for example, another enemy in that room, we would shuffle up our initiative cards and deal them back out. You don't have to worry about not having actions moving into a room and being like overwhelmed by enemies in this game, because every time you find a new set of enemies, you are going to redo the track, grab your action cards, grab your action points, grab 4 cards. You're going to do just like we did at the beginning of this battle. Now again, I apologize that the miniatures aren't painted. We'll have to work on that in the meantime. I think this will be a really good thing to work on. I love painting miniatures. They're super cool, and these miniatures are super cool. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more content comes out, because I will be continuing our playthrough in this game. This game is fantastic, super, super fun. I'm excited to see where the story goes. I like that it is a narrative dungeon crawler that has a lot of story in it. Like I said, the entire book is done by Foreteller. If you ever want to go pick up the Foreteller, you can. And the entire book, that is huge. It's a big book. It's a 319-page spiral-bound book full of dungeons and lore and story goodness. Now, of course, also leave anything in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Have you enjoyed this game? Are you still awaiting your copy? Have you not enjoyed this game? Or is there something that you wish you understood better? Again, like I said at the time of this recording, they are still working on an update pack for it that is supposed to be coming, but the game, they did say, as you can see, is fully playable. Of course, if you did notice any errors, please let me know in the comment section as well, and I'll be putting a pinned comment and be discussing the rule errors in the next video. And like I said earlier in the video, if you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out the link to our Patreon. It's located in the description of this video as well. Those that are part of the Patreon are shown here on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It means the world to me. On top of the fact that our Patreons got to pick one of our characters for our epic adventure here, they also do get to watch our playthrough videos usually a day or two early without commercial interruptions. So there you have it. That was the first room of the dungeon and the first part of our chapter 1 adventure. We still, of course, have to find our alchemist, and if you're excited to see if we can do that, and of course watch anything else that Colin and I have coming up, but I'm going to be working on this because this is super fun, then I need you to meet me at the table.